Listen to this. Many people fail to unlock favor with God and with people simply because they live by what they see rather than what they believe. Faith is not a good feeling. Faith is not just a good feeling. But here's the truth. If you only move when the facts look good, you will rarely move in the direction of favor. If you only move when everything is in place and it looks good, you will rarely move in the direction of favor. Faith is not blind hope, it is spiritual sight. It is the ability to see beyond what is visible, beyond what is happening, and beyond what you feel. It's not about denying reality, it's about choosing a higher one. That is the opening line from day 25 of Unlocking Favor with God and People. And in today's session of Align with Poloko, my friend, we'll be talking about faith that sees beyond the natural. And we're going to speak about this in two parts. Today, I want to start off by speaking to you about what faith is not. We hear this word faith thrown around quite a bit, and most of us don't really understand what faith is. Most of us don't fully understand why it is that our faith is not working, because apparently faith works, but how is it that my faith is not working? Is it even that my faith is not working? Could it be that faith itself in general just doesn't work? Most people don't have a good understanding of what faith really is. And that's why I opened up day 25. For those of you who have been reading Unlocking Favor with God and People, you will know that this section on faith is really, really transformational. But that's why I open up by saying faith is not blind hope. It is spiritual sight. It is the ability to see beyond what is visible, beyond what is happening, beyond what you feel. It's not about denying reality. It's about choosing a higher one. And that part there is very important, because a lot of people think that faith means that you have to deny what you see, deny reality. But my friend, when Jesus shows up to the tomb of Lazarus, who was dead and buried, he doesn't deny the reality of what has happened. In fact, he weeps. And then he goes on to perform the miracle. He says to them, actually, Lazarus was always going to wake up, but this had to happen for the sake of your faith, so that you would witness what you're about to witness. It's very important for you. It's very important for your walk with God that you don't deny reality, but you learn how to choose a higher one, that you learn how to choose a higher reality. Because at every given moment, two things are true. Something is good and bad at the same time, right? At any given moment, what you are going through right now can be good or bad. It doesn't matter. It's the thing that you are going through itself is not necessarily terrible just because it's what you are going through. Oftentimes, it is terrible because of how you've interpreted it, how you've chosen to call it. And then people make the mistake of thinking that the opposite of that, faith, would be acting like this is not happening in the first place. Yes, it is happening. But there is another side of it. There is a different reality to it. Listen to this. Many people fail to unlock favor with God and with people simply because they live by what they see rather than what they believe. But here's the truth. If you only move when the facts look good, you will rarely move in the direction of favor. If you only move when everything is in place and it looks good, you will rarely move in the direction of favor. You see, in us doing this podcast, in us putting out this content, there is no guarantee. There is no guarantee that this will become what we hope that it will become. There is no guarantee that we will hit the milestones that we seek to hit. There is no guarantee. And so I had the choice to make. I had the option to say, because I don't have the guarantee, I may as well not try in the first place. But you see, the same thing was true a couple of years ago before we had all of these followers across social media and started having this impact and reaching these hundreds of thousands of people around the world. Before that happened, I did not have a guarantee that any of the content I was putting out on TikTok at the time would reach the people that it reached. I did not have the guarantee. When I wrote my first book, I did not have the guarantee that somebody would read it. Now we're on the fourth one. When I decided that this would be the path that I pursue, I did not have the guarantee. No one gave it to me in writing. But my friend, faith is my contract with God. In the same way that you show up to work with the certainty that if you do the work for 30 days, somebody will pay you at the end of the month. I have the same contract with God. There is a different side of reality that we live by. So, before we get too deep into that, for this session, and we'll continue on this tomorrow, but for this session, what I want to do is I want to talk to you about what faith is not. I think it's very important that we clear up what faith is not before we talk about what faith is. So I'm going to give you a couple of points here that you can write down or just save this video so you can come back to it. Number one, faith is not a good feeling. Faith is not just a good feeling. You won't always feel strong, spiritual, or confident. Faith kicks in even when emotions are low. It's what you choose to believe on the days you feel discouraged or under pressure. Feelings change, faith stays anchored. So faith is not just a good feeling. It's not just a matter of you feeling good in the moment and setting out in faith. Listen, there will be moments when you do not feel it. There will be moments when you have to do it in spite of how you feel. And this is the reality of everyone who overcomes. This is the reality of everyone who continues to live on after failure, continues to live on after disappointment, continues to live on after the greatest losses of their lives. My friend, you must be able to differentiate between faith and your feelings. It's not just a good feeling. It might make you feel good sometimes, but it is not just a good feeling. It's more than a good feeling. Number two, faith is not optimism. Faith is not optimism. Now, optimism says things will work out. Faith says God is faithful and he will do what he said. Optimism hopes for the best. Faith stands on a promise. Optimism looks for the silver lining. Faith stands on the solid rock. A great way to explain this to you might be the difference between volunteer work and paid work. You see, if you have two people in the same company where one comes in and they offer to do some volunteer work, they might have the optimism to believe that the owner of the company might recognize them for the work they've done and reward them at the end of the month by compensating them. They could hope that that will happen, but there is no guarantee. But on the other hand, you have an employee who signed a contract and who shows up every single day and works with the same enthusiasm as the volunteer, the same energy as the volunteer, but they do it with the understanding and the belief that at the end of the month, they will be rewarded. They will be compensated. They know it. They're not just simply optimistic and hoping that, things will work out. Optimism is not bad. But I want you to understand that faith is deeper than optimism. It is my contractual agreement with God. When I say that things will work out, I don't say it from a place of optimism. I say it from a place of the agreement that I have with God. The fact that I am standing on a solid rock. Number three, faith is not excitement. Faith is not excitement. Listen, you might feel excited when you receive a prophetic word or a new opportunity, but faith is what remains after the excitement fades. Excitement is emotional. Faith is spiritual. Excitement fades. Faith endures. And there are moments when you receive a revelation. There are moments when you receive a prophetic word. There are moments when someone encourages you and motivates you, tells you that they believe in you and you will be able to do it, and you get excited in the moment and you set out in that excitement. But my friend, I want you to hear me when I tell you that that is not enough to sustain you. The excitement will fade. We see it with people all the time at the beginning of a new year. They get excited about the new year. This is my year, new me, 2026 is the year of the fix. They go out there and they get their first disappointment. And just like that, everything falls apart because the excitement is gone. Faith kicks in at that very moment, my friend. Faith endures through that moment, right? So you might feel excited, and you might be enthusiastic for a moment, but when that runs out, you better be standing in faith and not just your excitement. And number 4, faith is not a wish. Faith is not a wish. Wishing is passive. It hopes something might happen. Faith is active. It involves active agreement, obedience, and bold action. Wishes wait, faith works. Your wishes wait. Sit on your hands and wait. But faith works. My friend, let me remind you that Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1 defines faith as this. Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. It is confidence and it is assurance. It's not a wish. It's not a wish. It is not standing in the same place and looking up at the sky to see a shooting star and say, this is what I wish for. It's not the blowing out of birthday candles with a wish for a better life. It involves active agreement. It involves movement. It involves motion. When God says to his people, get up and move, he's saying this because even though he splits the sea, if you don't get up and move, it's irrelevant. The splitting of the sea does not matter if you do not get up and move. Number 4, faith is not a wish. And number 5, faith is not just a desire. Faith is not just a desire. Desire says, I want this. But faith says, I believe this will come to pass because God said so. Faith is rooted in promise, not personal preference. Desire may start the journey, but faith finishes it. Right? So desire may start the journey. You may be here because you desire something. But desire is not enough to bring about its manifestation. It is faith that finishes what started as just desire. And number 6, faith is not just a good attitude. Having a good attitude helps, but faith isn't a personality trait. It's a spiritual posture. It's not about being naturally positive. It's about being divinely persuaded. Attitude may impress people. Faith moves mountains. Attitude is great. You need a good attitude. I make it a point to live with a good attitude, but I know that a good attitude is not enough to get you through the toughest moments of your life if you are not standing in faith. Once again, that faith is, according to Hebrews chapter 11, that faith is the confidence in what we hope for and assurance of what we do not see. That hope that is used over there, that is a positive expectation. It is not hope in the way that many people use it when they say, I hope it rains tomorrow. I hope that things work out. It is a positive expectation. How would you live if you had an expectation for things to work out? You see, it's the idea of an expecting mother who prepares the room for the child. That is what faith looks like. Faith is not just saying, I hope I can have a child one day. It is preparing the room with the knowledge, with the belief that the child is on the way. That, my friend, is what faith looks like. I want you to be back here again tomorrow as we continue with the second part of faith that sees beyond the natural. My friend, my name is Poloko, and this is Align with Poloko.